Guys, someone got in my comments and asked me to do a video on this guy. Robbed of injuries, talked about as being the next Perez. Was never the next Perez, was never going to be the next Perez, but he was a very good player for us despite being robbed by injuries. Wenger famously said, if you love football, you love him. Tomáš Rosický. I mean, yeah, signed in 2006, I believe a while before that, or no, it definitely wasn't then. Arsenal actually played at Highbury. Played at Highbury versus Prague when Rosický was there, and Wenger said he took note of that. And if you go and watch the replays of that game, it's clear to see why he didn't exactly, how do I put it, put the world on fire. You could see that was a player of fantastic technique, a fantastic passer. The things you see at Arsenal, that you saw at Arsenal. He's a role model both on and off the pitch. Bielik, Wilshere, etc. have all talked about how he's always lending his hand. When he was at the club, he was always with the under-23s, coming back from injury, ironically. But he was always watching under-23s games. He was always there to offer advice. Again, ask Bielik. He always attended games, like I've said, and he wasn't a coach, but he's someone that used professionalism and someone that someone could learn upon. An intelligent footballer, a model pro, robbed of injuries because he did handle his body quite well. You never really saw him drinking and getting excited with all the other things, and it is tearful that it is bittersweet his time here when you look at it on the whole. Like we know he can play in the mid. He can play as a cam. He can play centre mid. He can play right wing. He's a player he had it all. He had the timing of runs into the box. He really intelligent football. You can't really teach that when to be in the right place at the right time, how to anticipate things. I know any of you guys that played football are famous saying that a lot of coaches used to say, when you pass the ball, don't just paint a picture. Don't just watch the nice painting you've painted. Go and make another one, but that means go and win the ball again. Go and try another pass, and that is what Rosický's football is, a thinker's game. Yes, if you have the physical strength and the pace and all of them things, it does help. But when you see players like Iniesta, etc., and of course Rosický's not levels, but him, it is one for the normal sorts of ones, and it speaks volumes, and it makes me rate these sort of players more. Not really anything physically great about him apart from the brain. Thought first, timing of runs, timing of movement, like I've already said. The brain, the technique, whether it was shooting, passing, the range of passing. He wasn't quick, but he was quick over, like I'd say, over a burst of 5 yards or something of that nature. So yeah, Wenger kept the tabs on him for a while. Dortmund, he obviously did his thing for Dortmund as well. I think he won title. He won a few medals there. One medal there. He made his name for himself, and then he moved to us in 06, like we've said. Like, the guy has given me some great goals. I mean, the two against Spurs stay with me. The one when he dispossessed Rosický and ran through the middle of the park and just put it in. The one in like the first minute. I can't remember if it was the FA Cup or the league. But he put it in, and I think Ox passed him the ball and he just hit it with the side of his foot. Just smashed it. No chance. And he's got several other finishes similar like that one. I enjoyed him his finish away against Everton. I enjoyed his finish at home in the 2-2. The two against Liverpool in the FA Cup, I believe, were great. The one against City in the defeat when we lost was great. He's a player, man. Like I said, he's robbed of injuries, man. And while he'll never be a legend here, he could be someone that's favoured personnel. And he's someone that, regardless of these injuries, and even if the FA Cup, he did put he played in the run. He did play a part, somewhat you could say that, but he didn't play a major part. We've still got a massive love for him. Like I said, he won't be a legend, but favoured personnel, he's worthy of that. Now, oh, mate, I have to roll off these stats for you, man. Firstly, 248 appearances for us, 29 goals, 22 assists. Not the best, but not the worst. I think he's actually scored more goals at us than at Dortmund. So, yeah, Dortmund, 189 appearances, 24 goals, 46 assists. He's obviously more of a creative hub at Munich, at Dortmund. Things went for him a bit more. Things did go through him in his early days at Arsenal, and when we had the banter players and players that weren't exactly good. But I mean, we had Cess, Nasri, all of these sort of players, so the burden wasn't going to be on him as much. So yeah, that's reflected. That was also reflected in the injuries as well. Crazy that he's made 248 assists. Appearances. I know he's been there for a while, but crazy if he wasn't injured, how many more he would have had. Speaking of injuries, his last two seasons, we know they didn't end well because of injury. He'd come back and get injured again. And didn't he get injured against Brighton after he scored or something like that? 07, 08, 26 appearances, 8 goals. Injuries disrupted the next season. 08, 09, 3 goals, but it was in important games. Like I said, 3 goals, but he's also got assists against City for Van Persie, assists against Liverpool for Diaby. 10, 11, 34 appearances, 2012, his appearances were disrupted by injury. If you remember, he got injured at the Euros, and then he came back later. So as the seasons went on here, he did experience more injuries clearly, and I don't want to say it's getting older, but this just highlights the problem at Arsenal, man. I don't know his injury records at Dortmund. You'd have to go back a very long time, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't like this, and I don't know what it is that's going wrong at this club. Numerous players and coaching staff and things have left. One man stayed, probably the best reason, but these injuries keep happening, and for a player that was great as that, man, like it's upsetting, man. It's upsetting. Like I said, like he came back in December that year. 13-14 wasn't exactly good for him either. Yeah, man, and the following years ended badly. I mean, he just was fighting for injury, and he got. I mean, where's his testimonial, man? The guy deserves that at the very least. He's always remained confident and professional, even when he got on a bit and he was getting these injuries, and when he's coming back, he weren't necessarily in the squad or he was on the bench. He didn't necessarily come on. He remained a model professional. Of course, he still wanted to play games, more to the fact that because injuries have robbed him and he was getting quite old and you have to call it a day after a while. He went to Prague and he's doing little bits for Prague, and I hope he does his thing. I don't know his aspirations for when he quits. If he isn't coaching, he needs to be at the Emirates. He's a model professional. Go and look at the young players, even the young players that are not at Arsenal anymore. 9 times out of 10, they'll mention Rosický. They will mention him. Tomáš Rosický was a brilliant footballer, man. Brilliant. And how good could he have been if he won? If he never got injured and we didn't have this banner years? I know they're all ifs, buts, and maybes, but yeah, like it's just it's sad. It's sad. It's a bittersweet story, like I said, because he's a player I really have a lot of time for, and I really like I said, his technique, his movement, his intelligence, his precision of passing. It's like he was a very model professional. You go and ask the young players or first team players what used to happen in training. He's a very much a perfectionist. And yeah, man, little Mozart. I mean, yeah, little Mozart. If you love football, you really do love Rosický. Like it's sad. Like I said, he wasn't an amazing world class player, but he was a good player. Like he should have had more of a success, man. I know if it was a white and black world and things were supposed to happen how they were meant to happen, he should have had more honours in his footballing career. Shouldn't have had these injuries. It's like crap players never get. I don't wish injuries on anyone, but crap players that haven't got anything to write home about, never get injured. And players like this, specifically when they come to Arsenal as well, it just gets worse. I feel sorry for him. But like I said, Rosický, I love the guy. Fan favourite. Deserves some sort of testimonial or proper sending off. Better than what he got last year. Just a little clap. And yeah, it did cry. And yeah, it was genuine. But yeah. So yeah, guys. Like I said, someone asked me to do this video. I've done it. Not to waffle. Get in the comments. Subscribe. Share it for me. Thank you very much, guys. Deluded signing out.